such a ridiculous expression. All right. Well, Sir Richard, how nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
And I say that with the greatest sincerity because I've known about your working on this project for some time, and I know you've talked about it before, that you hope to bring it to fruition, and now it's here, and we're having this chance to talk with you about it. First of all, congratulations. It is a powerful, dynamic picture. May I just ask you, do you have your Academy Awards speech ready?
I think that's a trifle premature.
That it is, but I think I have no doubt, really, that it will be nominated. I'm pretty good at calling that. But anyway, let's talk more specifically about the picture. First of all, was Cry Freedom more difficult than Gandhi?
In some measure, I think it was, yes, because obviously you were dealing with a subject matter which was very present in a large number of people's minds and recent memory. And the accuracy and the requirement of satisfying those who were close to Steve Biko, both relatives and colleagues, was a very arduous responsibility. And so, yes, I think in that measure it was. Secondly, of course, you are making a film about a repressive regime which would do almost anything to stop you making the film. And so the result was, as you know, we made the film in Zimbabwe, and we were bodyguarded the whole time. I mean, my wife and I, if we went out to supper, we had two people at the next table with guns on their hips. The whole unit was covered by armed guards. On 4 occasions, apparently, the South African authorities, or that's unfair to say the authorities, but South Africans came over the border into Zimbabwe and attempted to sabotage the sets and so on. So we were under constant, not threat, but uneasiness, you know, and to that extent it was a totally different atmosphere to the very relaxed and friendly atmosphere that existed in India.
Did that make it more difficult as far as insurance for the company and the picture?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. I mean, it was a very difficult insurance policy to get. And, of course, one of the things that we did when we finished the movie was that, because once the film was over, of course, the great danger would be the negative. And so we took a dupe negative. In fact, we took 3 dupe negatives, and we deposited them in vaults around the country, and only 3 of us knew where they were, because of course one thing you could do would be to destroy the negative. So that we had to take care of.
Why did you put yourself through that? Isn't there any other place in the world you could have made it?
No, I don't think there is, and I think it would have been inappropriate, perhaps even improper, to attempt to do so. Zimbabwe, as you know, is one of the frontline states, and the physiognomy of, in terms of all the people there are very similar to South Africa. And I think it was very important indeed that since we couldn't make it in the actual country, obviously, because we were opposing the entire regime that exists there, it was very important indeed that we allowed the majority of people who were aware and indeed affected by those circumstances to participate in the film.
So Richard, why did you want to make this film, and what did you want to say to the world?
Well, there are a number of things which I feel very strongly about, and people in our world have the opportunity to express themselves in the particular genre in which they work. If you're a writer, such as you, then you write, and your words and your feelings and your attitudes appear in your column. If you're a novelist, they appear in a novel. If you're a politician, they're on your political platform. If you're a composer or a sculptor, maybe a painter, it appears. I'm a filmmaker. I used to be an actor, but now I'm a filmmaker, and I express what I want to say through movies. I find that there are a number of particular things that I want to say, and one is my feeling about South Africa, that I feel that a country which by its legislature, in its law of its land, says to 2 human beings, based purely on their color, that you are inferior to you. That seems to me an obscenity. That seems to me totally disgusting and and unacceptable in what we call a present civilized society. And therefore I have the opportunity, through this medium which I am privileged to work in, to make that statement. That's why I wanted to make it, and that's why I make it in film.
How will the film be received in England, do you think, and particularly by the government?
By the British government. I don't think the British government will be very happy about the film at the moment. I am very embarrassed that our government appears to be the only government now in the entire Commonwealth who votes against the majority. It's 40-odd to 1, I think. I don't understand how it is possible in this day and age to defend a position which is equivalent to or is the one that exists now in South Africa. I don't understand how it is possible not to condemn that morally, unequivocally. Yes, of course there are problems in economics. Yes, of course there are problems in the manner in which you should deal with it in material terms. But morally, surely the world can say those who have the fortune to live in democracies really do condemn this appalling system which has now been in existence for 40 years. And we beg and plead that something be done about it before there is a Holocaust.
Are you ready for the criticism that it is definitely one-sided?
Oh yes, of course I am. But I don't think you sup with the devil. And I think apartheid is evil. And I think you have to say, ultimately, one thing is right and one thing is wrong, in your judgment. And in my judgment, and I think in the majority of the world, any system of segregation such as this, which says, you may not vote, you may not leave the country, you will go work 1,500 miles away from your family, you will only see your children once every year and a half, you will not have education, you will not have health care, I will. And you are black and I am white, and that is the reason for the grounds for this subjugation. That to me is evil. And if you are not prepared to stand up and say it is evil, then, well, you shouldn't make any statement at all. If you're going to make a film like this, you must be prepared to stand up and say, I believe, and I do. I believe profoundly.
And your film says it dynamically and powerfully. Again, Sir Richard, it's wonderful to see you again. I have every feeling that the film will be well accepted and well received. And I thank you for making yourself available today.
Thank you very much for coming.
Wonderful. You are the best. You are just and cut me as widely as you can.
Okay.
Are you about here?
Yeah, just more or less.
Yeah. Okay, because I want it to match with the shot you have of him. Okay. Speed?
Yes.
Sir Richard, was Cry Freedom more difficult to get on film than Gandhi? What were some of the problems you had making this film? Why didn't you go someplace where it would have been easier and safer? Are you ready for the criticism that this film brings only one point of view? All right, and then we'll just do some reactions. Oh, there's one question I forgot. Okay.
Was it one of your other questions?
Later ones. Why did you want to make Cry Freedom, and what did you want to say to the world? Okay, thank you.